So my name is Virginia Anzengruber, and I am the marketing manager at Platinum Educational Group, and I've been a longtime client of Christina's. I just moved back into the area last year, and I was so excited to participate in this series because one, it's always incredible to just take time to focus on women, but two, it's just been so amazing to see Christina grow over the last few years and expand her business. And so really I feel like it's, women celebrating women, and that to me is always going to be worth participating in. So I'm just thrilled to be here.
All right, so I haven't seen you in
a few years. Yeah. I mean, with COVID and everything, I think like a lot of people, I had like a layoff that ended up relocating me to Florida.
Oh my gosh.
Which that's where I'm from. I know. I always tell people like, I'm from Florida. I'm so sorry. It's like
the craziness that goes on.
Immediately. I'm like shaking hands with someone and I'm like, please don't hold this against me.
I don't live in Grand Theft Auto. Like they are actually making the video game Miami specifically, but just there's a lot of like Florida headlines that they use as inspiration.
What is it? Florida man?
Yeah.
Constantly. Yeah. But yeah, no, we moved back in May, me and my boys. And I think since the last time I was like, I know I came to you when I was pregnant with Reese.
Yes.
So, but since then he's 4 now.
What? It's been that long?
I know. And like the smartest, just happiest little guy, loves cars, and like, yeah, I was just on a cruise and I brought him back a cruise ship, literally just like a Carnival cruise ship, and he's like so excited. Well, because I travel a lot for work, so now he has like a Delta plane, and like a United plane, and a Carnival cruise ship.
All the things that like mom like is on all of the time.
Exactly.
Like this is what mommy was in.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and then I had Lewis, who will be 19 months old.
Oh my God, Virginia.
He'll be 20 months old. Yeah, which is crazy. Like at the end of this month. And
I love that name.
I know. Don't they just sound like little European settlers?
Little sirs.
Reese and Lewis, yeah. Just sound like they need to be led by a very smart Native American woman across the plains. Just helping them find America. Yep. Those are the kind of names. Yeah.
They're sweet.
They're honestly like, I've only been a mom, almost 5 years now, but like they're so happy.
Yeah.
And like I think of all the other things, like all of that will shake out, but like the fact that they're just like happy and kind, empathetic little dudes is like, I don't know. I'm very proud to be their mom.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, you're bringing in 2 sweet boys, which is what we need in this world.
It's the best thing I've ever done.
Oh my God.
Truly.
Okay, so let's kind of catch up really quick before we move on to like everything else about like, because what are we doing today?
Okay, great question, because she needs a lot of help. She's a working mom. This manicure is 3 weeks old.
I'm wearing gloves because mine look bad also.
I've started doing the cheat thing where I get nude done so that if it grows out, it like doesn't look that bad. And I'm like, this is fine because I'll be wiping diapers, can't be having super long nails. Let's keep it
right.
But no, I was thinking like a lamination and tint.
I love it.
Great because I mean, and I've always kind of had not thin eyebrows, but I did over pluck in high school because I was overzealous in the early 2000s.
Guilty.
We all did it. It's fine.
Thanks, Pam.
Listen, and
I blame her.
Rock them,
you know what? She can, and I blame her, and I shouldn't blame her because she was not the only one, but she was such an icon back then. So
I know, but
and she still is.
On her doing her no makeup at Fashion Week, love it.
But
yeah, no, I think in general, just maybe like a lamination would help kind of fill out a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then these have no makeup on, and as you can tell, they kind of disappear about halfway through because I have very blonde, very
fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was thinking maybe like a tint lamination.
I think that's what exactly I would suggest.
Awesome.
Have you had a lamination before?
Never.
Okay.
This is gonna be the
So
first
you've
time.
just seen it. I know. I'm so
I know.
excited because before you left, like lamination was not a thing.
No.
So we were just doing shape and tints
And microblading, I think, or
Yep.
no, yeah, I think that
Yep.
was really what was like happening at the time. But yeah, we were just doing shape and tints.
Yep.
That's what we did with me every time.
Yep. So now we have this new element to add, and I think it's just going to make them.
Just pop. Listen, I gotta have a hot mom summer 2024. You know, we're gonna do it. Single mom out on the prowl.
I'm here to help.
Snatched. Yeah.
I'm here to help. I'm so excited.
Awesome. Me too.
All right. So let me just kind of like wipe off your brows.
I was like, and of course, the day of our shoot, I have a nice like eyebrow blemish because the universe is just good to us, so we can put makeup on afterwards too.
She was like, "Listen, Women's History Month. We're all about empowering this month, and so we're just gonna put a little bit of like adversity on your face in physical form.
Just gotta keep me humble.
Yep.
You know.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Oh yeah, your lamination is gonna be wonderful on you.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, because you do have a decent amount of hair. It's just super fine. You have a ton of peach fuzz.
Thank you.
Which is going to be good with the tint, as you know, because it pulls all of those little hairs forward and it just makes your brows look thicker than what they appear to be normally.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and get you cozy. Let me put a towel down before you lie down.
It was like me and Rue. We both need towels down.
My poor baby.
Rue's her dog, everyone.
Yes. If you don't follow, I mean, he's appeared on the salon page a few times because he's like, was our mascot for a while. But
I love that. But yeah, he had an appointment today. I had an appointment today.
Yes.
We have a lot of things in common, me and Rue.
Yes. And you know what? You both have like a warm, kind of brownish hair. You know?
That chestnut dark color that you want for gumbo. It's perfect.
The perfect medium Rue. Oh, it's hilarious. Oh my goodness. This is going to be so good.
I know. Listen, I came untamed for you. This was for you. You know, I let him grow wild because I said, you know what, Christina's going to need me.
You know, the messier the better for me. The messier the better. So, have you had a lash lift and tint before? No. Okay.
No.
Okay, so let me just really quick talk about the aftercare for this and the reason why I asked about the lash lift and tint is it's similar.
Okay.
So for the first 24 hours, try to avoid getting your brows wet.
Yep.
Especially with like hot water or steam.
Okay.
Just keep in mind that the hair is like still pliable. It can like pick up a bend.
Okay.
So if you like lay on your face or if you
Yep.
use hot water and you're like rubbing.
That makes sense.
Yep. So it's the same process as a lash lift or essentially like a perm for your hair or a relaxer for your hair.
Okay.
We're not adding curl, obviously. We're just kind of straightening them out and making them lay in a nicer direction.
Awesome.
It is still hair. So when you wake up in the morning, they're not going to be in the position that I put them in.
Yep.
So you're just going to have to give them a little, like a little brush. Yep.
Awesome.
I would recommend a clear gel, light hold. You're not going to need anything crazy, especially because your hairs are fine.
Cool.
And especially after lamination, they just do what you want them to do much more easily.
Amazing.
Yep.
Can I buy the clear gel from you?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, does Siren and Proper have their own products too, girl? Yes. I love that.
I just went with like a few basic, like everyday, like makeup bag BFF type things.
Well, and it's perfect because like, and again, not to sort of just like give a little bit of our journey together, but girl, when I was coming to you originally, you just had your one location. And in these years, look at you've expanded to literally like products. I'm about to buy a candle out there. Like,
you saw the candles.
I saw the candles. I'm so excited. The coffee mug, like if you don't think that I'm getting like merch, like I am. And so I'm just so proud of you. Like I just love it so much.
Thank you. I missed you so much.
I know, me too.
Our appointments were always so much fun. When I saw that you reached out, I was like, hell yeah.
I was so excited when they said yes. I was like, let me just throw my hat in the ring. She said you could nominate yourself. And I was like, I will.
Yeah. I always think that makes people nervous, right? Like they might read that and think like, well, I don't want to seem like conceited or I don't know why. But I can relate because I would have been just as apprehensive. But so I'm so happy that, you know, you went for it and you reached out to me.
Me too. I've been telling everybody I was doing this all week. I was so excited.
All right. So I'll just kind of like with each step talk you through what's happening.
I love it.
This first step that we're putting on is the solution that's going to break down the protein structure within the hair.
Cool.
That gives your hair the bounce and the shape that it has.
If I'm remembering from Legally Blonde, is it a sodium thioglycolate? Is that right?
Yep.
Oh my God, I remember from the scene in the courtroom.
God bless Legally Blonde. It just like made this so much easier.
Everybody understands. And
Yeah.
why did Tracy Marcinko's perm and her curls fell out? Because she did the wet t-shirt contest.
Yep.
And that's why it deactivated it.
You know that I didn't watch that movie until like a year ago.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. And it was so good.
I love it.
Me
It's
too.
so good. Talk about Women's History Month.
Yes.
Thank you, Elle Woods.
Yes. Icon. All right. So if you feel any tingling or itching, let me know.
Cool.
Because you haven't had a service like this before. So we're not sure, you know, if you're going to have any reaction. Knock on wood. Where is it? There it is. Have not had any reactions in the past. And I know that you've had similar, like you've had chemical services done before without any reactions. So we're going to go ahead and move forward. If you feel anything funky, let me know, but you shouldn't feel anything. No spiciness.
Sounds good. No spicy.
No.
That's what my kid calls Sprite. He's like, it's spicy water.
It is spicy. That's the best way to describe it. Okay, so tell me, what the heck have you been up to?
Oh my goodness, a million things. I feel like every mom that is watching this, it's like when you're asked that question, it's like, well, today.
Yeah. Who are you today?
So, yeah. So I had my boys, and I mean, you know that I've been doing film and video for a long time, and so with especially a lot of the strikes and everything that were happening out in Hollywood, and you know the different unions and stuff, I made a pivot a few years ago to sort of go into a more corporate space.
Okay.
And so I actually run the marketing department for a company called Platinum Educational Group, and they're a medical education technology company.
Interesting.
Yes. So, you know, you think Virginia, you think paramedics, I know, but we have a testing platform, and then we also have an app that students can use to sort of like log their competencies when they are in the field, learning how to be paramedics, nurses, you know, radiologic technologists, all of these, you know, medical professions that, you know, it's not that I didn't really think about them, I just didn't really know about them until I started.
What all went into.
So much work goes into being just a medical assistant or a sonographer, you know, and
dealing with people's health and lives.
And these are the people that are day to day. You know, when we moved up, Reese, actually, my oldest, got RSV.
Oh.
And we had to go to literally like a hospital in the middle of Alabama. And I got to see a respiratory care, you know, a specialist, and I got to see, you know, a doctor, but I also was seeing nurses and CNAs and all of these professionals that are so like vital to the medical industry. And so it's just given me such a greater and deeper appreciation for all of the people that sort of work to keep us healthy and everything. And so
the silver lining of like having to switch gears is you just open your world, like your eyes, to something brand new, right?
100%.
Same thing with dating new people, same thing with meeting new friends, same thing with, switching careers, going to a new area. You just like, you learn, you grow.
You open yourself up. I love the way you said that. Yeah, you absolutely just, you know, the thought maybe can be like, I'm 35, I'm a single mom. You know, I recently, you know, last year, sort of divorced their dad, and it's very amicable, and we're very good friends. And I was telling you, you know, before we started filming, like, oh, that's great, but yeah, there's something about sort of closing a door that maybe can feel sad or heavy, but really what you're doing is you're opening the door to all of these new possibilities in your life, you know, and you're opening the door to saying like yes and to something, right? Like it's not no but, it's yes and we're gonna, you know, move forward in that. And so, you know, I love to do my little comedy and stuff on stage and everything. And so it's been really fun because even in this like transitional period in this time, I feel like I've really started to lean into those like tenets that you hear about in improv and things like that, because you can't control anything, you know. All you can control is how you show up and contribute to the world, you know. And so I've been really grateful and so lucky with this new job because I'm fully remote. I travel a lot for work, but I get to be present for my boys, you know, and I get to be present for my kids, and you know, get to pick them up from school, or have like, you know, like we're going to a hockey game tonight, and
the Griffins.
Yeah, I'm so excited, and you know, I just get to be very active in their lives and still get to, you know, run the marketing department of a multi-million-dollar company.
It's so cool.
Yeah, I've been loving it. I directed their first commercial last year. And then they greenlit a 4-part series based on the commercial. So I'm actually flying to LA on Monday morning for the first of 4 shoots.
This is so cool.
I know, I'm so excited.
Tell me more about that. Like, what is this going to be about?
So basically, I really like, knowing like a company's why, you know.
Sure.
And so I think when I started the job, it was really important for me to figure out the why, you know. And there's always like, oh well, we have a product that we want to sell, but the reality is that the 2 original founders of our company were EMT and EMS educators themselves, right?
Oh, okay.
So they sort of created this product based on like a need that they saw in the industry. And then in the 20 plus years that the company's been around, it's, I think, been really cool to see that we have these clients that we work with, but these clients are schools, you know what I mean? And they're literally like the EMS department of, you know, Ventura College is who I'm going out to film next week. And the reality is that a lot of times I think people think that maybe careers like this are inaccessible or are a little out of reach. And so
I would agree. I could, being out of that, like I feel that way.
Because you'd think like, oh, it's like a doctor, you know, like, do I have to do like all these years of school and all this kind of stuff? And, you know, the reality is that a lot of these programs are not only, you know, they're 2 years, maybe they're 3, but they're actually like super accessible to all kinds of people. And so if you have a certain kind of skill or talent, it's like you might actually be able to find it within like some of these allied health professions. And so the theme really is profiling the college and talking about, you know, maybe some of their challenges, right, with enrollment or things like that that we're seeing in like the post-COVID times of, you know, maybe people aren't as eager as they once were to do some of these traditional professions, especially these medical professions that oftentimes are putting themselves at risk to help other people.
And the center of controversy a lot of the time.
Constantly. And so I think it was really important for me to create a series that was really focusing on our clients and really wanting to kind of highlight what, you know, their challenges are, but also what are their strengths? What are some reasons why people should go to their school, you know? And in that way, I think it's really leaning into that sort of accessibility and hope that we could encourage more people to go into the medical field, because there are so many different jobs and roles out there. And so we're really hoping to just encourage students to get back in school.
I think that's a great way to do it too.
Yeah, and my company seems to like it, because they're like, and
did you pitch this idea?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Because you were I mean, you had been doing film, like, you're very, I don't know what the word is I would use. You remind me a lot of one of my best friends from growing up. Her name was Jess.
I love her.
And hopefully she sees this, but when I met her, gosh, I think we were in 2nd grade. She moved into my neighborhood, and she was so unlike anybody that I had ever met before in my short few years of life. But, you know, like at that age, she was obsessed with U.S. presidents, specifically Abraham Lincoln, watched the Rosie O'Donnell like talk show, said she wanted to be a talk show host / female president when she grew up.
What a queen.
And she's super artistic, super, what's the word I would use? Just, I feel like she's very introspective.
Oh, yeah.
Artistic. She was always in like theater, and she always like just had an affinity for movies, Hollywood, talk shows, like all of those things, and was just so much more aware of issues and just society as a whole, I feel like, than I was at that age.
Right.
You know, which is wild to me. You remind me so much of her.
That's the
Honestly.
nicest compliment. Thank you so much. Shout out to your friend. Hey, girl.
We love it.
Yeah, I love
Hey.
that. No, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite things about being a writer is that you are like a constant observer of like the world, you know, like I said, I travel a lot for work, like just people watching in airports is like one of my favorite things to do once I've gotten a Starbucks or a coffee and sort of like, you know, gotten to my gate and the anxiety of travel is gone. I like to sit and really just sort of like watch people and,
Yes.
you know, I think as a parent too, I mean, not in any way that parenthood or motherhood dictates any kind of growth, but for me, it absolutely did, and it really expanded the way that I sort of, I don't know, I think it expanded the way that I maybe empathize with people.
Okay. Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
I noticed that this is kind of, you made me think of this. It's kind of maybe a little bit of a reach, but somewhat related. My ADD brain coming up with.
I was going to
conversation
say, I'm
points.
sure there's a connection. We'll find it.
But I read somewhere, I think because my fiance had asked me, like, why are you into fantasy and like fiction so much? Science fiction, you know, all of that. And I really had to like think about it. And I said, I mean, obviously the adventure portion, right?
Right.
But the other part of it is, for some reason, like you just really start to see things. It's almost like it makes you more of an empathetic person. Like you just see things from so many different perspectives.
I totally get that. It's the Star Trek of it all, right?
Yes.
Because like, you know, that question of like, where would you, what universe would you rather live in, Star Wars or Star Trek? I always say Star Trek because it's a universe that's like post all of the like war or hunger or poverty. Like in that Star Trek universe, right? Like the expansion of you know, charting the galaxy has led to an understanding that is like, you know, kind of core to all of those shows.
Yes, exactly. I love that, the Star Trek versus Star Wars.
I know. Well, and my sister, which I'm sure she'll watch this too, my sister Erica and I, we've joked for years that we love any movies that fall under the category of the 3 S's, which is spooky, space, and sorcery.
Heck yeah!
And it's like, if anything falls under that, we're going to love it.
Oh
like,
my God, me too.
So we're like, the 3 S's are the way to go.
That's so funny. I'm going to use that.
What are you reading right now?
So I am not reading anything. I overcommitted, I feel like, with these videos.
Yep. No, I feel that. I've been reading news articles about Kate Middleton. That's pretty much
Oh my God.
Where is she?
Yes. Isn't that weird?
It's
like all the
weird.
and I like a good conspiracy. Some of these theories are wild.
The one that was my favorite was that she's on The Masked Singer.
She can't tell anybody.
I thought that was good.
Oh my God. But she could make an appearance somewhere and like take a picture, you know.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Come on, Palace. Give us a little photo op. Something.
Very weird. Very weird situation. I'm not a fan. I'm concerned.
No, I feel the like, I'm not reading though right now. I went on a cruise this past week and I brought 3 books. Like I was gonna be some sort of literary hero or something.
How much did you get through?
1 chapter of 1 book. What are we doing?
You were on vacation. There was a lot to enjoy.
I was trying to just be like, I'll sit up on the top deck and read like Rose from Titanic or something. No.
You even had it like pictured in your mind.
Truly. Let me get the big hat. No, didn't do it. Okay. By the way, this is so fun. Like, I'm having a blast.
I'm so glad. Thank you again. Like, I'm so happy you decided to do this.
Such a good idea for like a concept. And, you know, I think in general, Women's History Month is like, sometimes you get inundated with like all the Target ads or whatever. And it's like, this feels so organic and cool and natural. I just love it.
That's what I want. I think that's why I have been asked in the past, you know, how come you guys don't do anything for, and it's not even just like Women's History Month, it's like for any other celebration, charity, like just acknowledging different issues and things. And I'm, first of all, it's hard as a business owner. Like, I'm responsible for a lot of people here.
Yep.
So if I take a hard stance on something politically, I could alienate a group of people, hurt my business, and ultimately hurt everyone's paychecks here. So I'm afraid.
Yeah.
A. B. I'm more of a people pleaser. You know, I tend to fall in that category. I hate to admit it, but it's true. And C. I think I just haven't found a way to get into anything, like you said, in a more organic fashion, rather than making it feel like it's marketing or like it's just for me.
Right. No, I think that this feels so natural and organic because it's also like you are such a personable person, right? Like even when like when we met years ago and stuff, it was like, girl, you followed me on Instagram, and I was like, oh my god, we're friends. Like, I love it. Like, and I don't know. I totally understand that though too, because I feel like we're taking in so much of what's happening everywhere all the time, and sometimes it can be really overwhelming to sort of know how to respond to things, you know. And so I think that this series, you know, especially you know, not for nothing, but like the way that you even phrased it as like, hey, if you want to nominate yourself, like honestly, it felt empowering to nominate myself, not because I think that I'm like incredible, but when you framed it as like, are you a woman that has a story? It's like,
we all do,
you know. And that to me is like kind of what's so powerful. It's like why I, you know, I work this corporate job, but it's why I like, you know, I'm a filmmaker and a podcaster and I do comedy, and it's like all of this is like self-expression, you know, and trying to connect with our stories, you know.
Exactly. Yes. So just to catch you up on the service, I just took off step 2. So excellent. In that step, we rebuilt your protein structure in your hair in the shape that we want it.
Yay!
So your hairs are set. They look great.
Oh my God, they look full.
Yep, your brows already look way different. So now I'm just going to mix up your tint.
Awesome.
We'll get that processing, and then I will wax you.
Awesome.
Do you haven't had, because I don't remember us having any issues waxing.
No.
Have you had? Okay.
No, we're normally pretty good.
Have you started using like retinol? Are you taking any prescriptions that are going to make your skin more sensitive?
No, but great question.
Okay.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I am using good eye cream and a Clinique under eye because, you know, she's 35 getting hit on by 20-year-olds at the bar.
That is so...
It's like for real too. It's wild out here. I had no idea. I was like, you are 20?
Yeah, you look, and they look so young.
Are you allowed to be in this bar? I don't know. Maybe we need an ID check here. Yeah, this feels... I feel old.
Yeah,
100%.
But, you know, I'll take it as a compliment.
Just find myself frequenting wine bars more now. I'm like, oh, I gotta go to a speakeasy or something.
You have to like up the demographic a little bit here.
Where are the grown-ups?
So funny. Andy and I always talk about this. Like, Grand Rapids needs a adult, like, not club, but like lounge. You know, something where we can still get that vibe, but it's like a more mature crowd. Like,
no, I totally agree.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna have you turn my way just slightly.
Awesome.
Perfect. Yes. All right. That way I can make sure I'm making you even. Very important. Okay, so you are always working on some little side projects here. Filmmaker, comedian, general artistic girly.
I love that. Can that be my
my
little name tag?
Yes.
I love it so much.
We'll put that underneath, like when we do the interview. Be like,
oh my God, that's the Chiron. General artistic girly. Amazing.
So what are you working on currently? I mean,
so I went back to stand up for the first time after 9 years of taking a break, because I had been doing it, but then, you know, I was in LA and working in these like writers' rooms and stuff, and it was just exhausting to sort of get on stage at like 1 a.m. and then have to be on set at 6 a.m., you know? So I took a little bit of a break, but kind of came back to that last fall, which has been so fun.
Enjoying it.
Listen, forcing people to listen to my jokes about motherhood and, you know, knowing that I got a tight 7 that they can't really do anything. Worst case scenario, they're just going to heckle me. And it's like, get in line, guys.
Yeah.
Like, so that's been really, really fun.
Sticks and stones can't break my bones.
100%. But then I also actually am in development and pre-production right now for my first narrative short film.
Wow.
I know, I'm so excited. So a lot of the stuff that I work on is like commercials or music videos, and those obviously require writing, but it's a little bit different to sort of, you know, write like a 25-page script about something. And I actually so I wrote a movie about a miscarriage I had a couple years ago in between my 2 boys.
Wow.
Yeah, it's, I mean, you and I have talked about it a little bit. And it's one of those things that, you know, 1 in 5 pregnancies end in miscarriage. And I realized in the writing process, you know, that even while I was in it with people who were, you know, being very empathetic to the process and giving very good constructive notes, there was still this kind of gulf of like, oh wow, are you really gonna say that? Are you really gonna express that? You know, and and it's not a particularly dramatic film. You know, there's definitely light moments. I actually wrote it for my real life best friend of over 20 years to co-star with me. He's an actor as well, and I just realized that, you know, I kind of I personally don't particularly like the phrase everything happens for a reason. I think sometimes that can be kind of dismissive to the sort of randomness of life, right? Because I don't think that I lost my baby for a reason. I don't think that that was a plan, I'll be honest. But what I do think is that I can decide to find purpose in it.
Yes.
I can decide to find purpose in this thing that happened to me, and hopefully in that way, you know, not only honor, you know, my child's life, but also like honor the journey that I went through. You know, and I think so many women and so many, you know, childbearing people, 1 in 5, that's 20%.
That's a lot.
That's so much, and we just don't talk about it, you know. And even in this, right, it was like I wanted to make sure that, like, you know, with this story, I told the whole story, you know, and it's really not anything more than, if you've ever seen those like Richard Linklater movies like Before Sunrise, it's very much in that vein, right, where it's just me and my actual friend catching up. And I
think that's such a great like setting.
Thank you.
For something like this.
I like it because I think that if we can sort of destigmatize it, but also maybe what I'm leaning into is this idea that like sometimes grief just needs a witness. I don't need you to fix it. You can't undo it, right? Because you didn't do it, and it can't be undone. But maybe just in the talking about it, just in the sort of,
there's that healing.
Absolutely, because then maybe somebody else feels a little less alone in their experience, you know?
Exactly. Yes.
And so I'm really excited. We're shooting in LA in January.
God.
I know. I've got some producers attached. My DP is a wonderful man named Bron Moyi, who actually just won the Grammy 2 years ago for Music Video of the Year that he shot for Jon Batiste.
No frickin' way.
He shot the Freedom music video.
No way.
And he's been a longtime friend and actually committed before there was even a script to commit to.
That is so cool.
Just and that maybe is like one of the other kind of amazing things. I knew that there would be like healing in the writing process, right? Because that feels like a very obvious thing. Like you got to get it all out. One of the most incredible things that's happened is that I've had this like community of people. Yeah, this system of people that have come behind me and said, you know, we've been waiting for something like this from you. And I'll get emotional talking about that because that changed my life.
Yeah.
You know, that belief and that support and these people that I just love and admire so much kind of coming behind me to say, we want to help you make this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they're not doing it as a favor to me. These are professional people. They have their own lives and careers that they have to think of, and they are saying, hey, this is a story worth telling.
Yeah.
You know, and that to me really just kind of
you didn't expect it.
I didn't expect it at all. And honestly, like, I will get emotional talking about it because it was just it helped me become a better writer. Mm-hmm. It helped me become a better filmmaker, knowing that these people believe that I can do it. Ooh, yeah, girl, I really am gonna cry. Like, that's a real thing, you know. And sometimes, just in the way that grief needs a witness, sometimes maybe all you need, thank you, as like a person is like a couple people to say, like, keep going. Yeah, keep going, keep doing this.
This is the right thing. This is helpful.
You're on the right path.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we're the only people that can really anchor that for ourselves. Mm-hmm. But having that reflected back to you from your community of peers and people that you just respect so much, I mean, it's just been such a gift. Wow. It's been such a gift to me, truly.
The silver lining of, you know, this sad experience is, you know, what you discovered that you kind of had in your corner, and, you know, coming up with this, you know, I don't want to, you know, sometimes you see the comments of people saying like, oh, you're turning this into like a profit-making thing. No, it's...
Girl, who makes money on short films?
No shit.
Ain't gonna make no money on
just this. So everybody knows.
Yeah, I will be spending my money to make this.
Because it is a passion project.
Yeah, I mean, the hope is that we're going to be raising some funds, but nobody's getting rich off of short films. Correct. If anything, it's just an opportunity to be able to kind of communicate your story in a short form way, mm-hmm. you know, because we all have very short attention spans. But also, for me, I think it was really important to just go there.
Yeah.
You know, and to be able to do that in a really contained way where somebody knows, you know, I'm not going to watch a 90-minute dissertation about what happened to me, but maybe I can watch like a 20-minute video.
Yes.
You know, or like a 15-minute short, you know.
Digestible format.
Exactly, you know. So I'm really, really excited about that.
I am so excited. I'm going to see it. I want to watch it.
Thank you. We'll have a premiere here.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it upright.
I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
When do you expect this to be completed?
So for shooting in January, the goal would probably be to premiere like next fall, just to make sure we have enough time for like post-production, because as you know, now that you're a seasoned videographer, it does take a long time to edit. It takes a long time for, you know, music and color correction and, you know, all of those kind of things. Now, thankfully, it isn't a Star Trek movie, so there won't be a ton of special effects or anything. But yeah, we're hoping like late summer, early fall of next year.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
I did not take it. I posted like a snippet and I was like, I can have this edited by Friday. Friday's here.
Yeah.
And I'm like a quarter of the way. Yeah. And I'm not even doing anything fancy. I'm just trying to keep, you know, some cuts in there. Like I'm having to crop and cut just to like keep interest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's just us standing here and that who's going to watch it? I mean, you may as well just record a podcast at that point.
And listen, there are enough white men doing podcasts. We don't need to add to that anymore.
Oh my God.
Although I will tell you, one of the things that I said to my friend recently was we were sending each other voice notes, you know?
Yes.
And I at one point was like, you know, for every 60-second voice note that gets sent between two women, one less white man is making a podcast episode. That's the ratio. It's like we're taking it back. It's just that's the math somehow that's working out.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you have any podcasts from men that like you think are worth a while?
Oh, I absolutely do.
Okay.
And my number one is Las Culturistas, which is with Bowen Yang, who's on Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
And Matt Rogers, who was on that Showtime show, I Love That For You.
Yes.
They're the funniest men on planet Earth. I have been a fan for years. I actually found their podcast because Bowen used to do these lip syncs on TikTok or Twitter. Actually, it was before TikTok. He would do like the most spot on Miranda Priestley monologue, you know, from Devil Wears Prada, where he's like, it's not blue, you know, it's cerulean or whatever.
The best scene, one of my favorite scenes.
He gives a Meryl Streep performance in this lip sync. It was that good. And so I found that podcast a few years ago, and I love it so much. And they're best friends, but they talk a lot about culture. They have a lot of good guests on. But I also really enjoy their takes on stuff. Like my favorite episode of the whole podcast, which I'm sure other people have this as a favorite too, but it's kind of like a low-key one, is there's a journalist I really love named Sam Sanders, who used to have a show on NPR called It's Been a Minute.
Yes.
And his whole, you know, one of the questions they ask is, what is the culture that made you say culture is for me? Right? And his answer was VH1 and like Behind the Music. And I was like,
so random.
But it was amazing because I was like, I felt so seen in that moment because as like a kid of the 90s, you're watching that, you know, you're watching these like, I'm watching, you know, Left Eye burn down her man's house from TLC. And I'm like, what's happening here? But I learned more about like the music industry, right, through those kind of episodes. And so I love that podcast because I think it gives people a really good opportunity to talk about the culture and the like art and, you know, pop culture that has sort of like influenced them. You know? And
that's fun.
Very silly and funny. They're the funniest men.
Okay, so something to check out then. What is it called again?
It's called Las Culturistas.
Las Culturistas.
Giving them a free promo.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for being you.
Well, they were on one network and then moved to Will Ferrell's podcast network. So they're big time now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're
doing good.
They're doing well.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check them out.
With a lot of my TV right now, I'm just watching like Food Network because obviously Guy Fieri is a king. But then there's this show on Max called The Gilded Age, and it's from the guy that created Downton Abbey.
Ooh.
It's amazing because truly nothing ever happens. Like I was telling a friend earlier that one of the like storylines of an episode was that the niece of this like very fancy society lady disgraced the family because she got a part-time job teaching people how to paint. Like teaching young ladies how to watercolor at a school. That was a disgracing her family because they were like society ladies and they weren't supposed to ever get jobs because it was like the turn of the century and they're like rich. And so it's literally Christine Baranski, who was like, I love her so much, but if you've ever seen that movie, The Grinch with Jim Carrey, she was like the mayor's wife.
Yep.
She literally is like, you're throwing your family's name into the dirt. And like, it's incredible because like I can just have it on in the background and know really nothing of consequence is happening in any way. It's not heavy at all. She just, you know, Marion can't teach, you know, she can't have engagements on Thursdays because that's her class and she won't be put into a cage. Okay. Like
I love this whole premise. I will watch this. Yes. I love this. And I love Downtown Abbey. What a great.
It's so good. So it's the same guy that made this. So if you love that vibe, you will love this vibe.
Absolutely. I'm in 100%.
So funny.
Oh my God.
Like I'm actually excited to go see that movie Dune pretty soon.
Oh yeah. Did you see the first one?
No, I feel like I should watch that one and then go to the theater and maybe do it in like maybe not the same day or something, but kind of back to back.
But yes, you should.
Because I also love Florence Pugh.
Yes.
A ton. I think she's so fun.
I'm a big fan of the Duneverse.
The Duneverse. That's so funny.
It's my jam.
Oh, how many times have you seen it so far?
Just twice. But yes.
You secret nerd. She said just twice. I love that.
And I haven't pitched to Andy yet the idea of going and seeing in theater Dune 2 because I need him to watch Dune 1 with me.
Right.
And he's going to be like, sandworms, really? What the F?
He'll be like, listen, don't talk to me. That was in Beetlejuice.
Right.
It's a dark comedy right there.
Yeah.
Put the connection, Andy.
Yeah, come on.
That's so funny.
Oh my gosh. So Yeah, what was I going to say about that? The Duniverse, there was something else.
Oh, you watched it twice.
Yeah, I watched it twice. There was something else. Reading the books? No.
Oh, did you read the book?
No.
Okay.
But I need to. The problem is, though, I ruined it for myself because I feel like once I need to read the book first and then see any films,
Yep.
because if I see the film first, I'm just going to be picturing the characters.
That makes sense.
And I don't want to do that. I want my imagination to do the work. So we're almost done. Your brows look amazing.
I'm so excited. Sorry about the breakout.
Oh my God, don't worry about it. Hopefully it doesn't bother you too much.
No, it should be fine.
I am going to just put a little bit of powder on for you before I show you your final results. I don't think we need to do any trimming. I'm not going to trim, in fact, at all, just so that I can show you what we have, and then we can always tame them down later.
I love that.
Because we can't put the hair back once it's gone.
Don't I know it? early 2000s.
Damn, those
Got
2000s.
So happy.
God.
Oh my gosh.
We all did it, don't
we
worry.
love you, Pamela, but
yeah.
My gosh.
But yes. So what advice do you think you would give to younger women who are kind of like in your field of interest and coming up in that career path?
I love this question because it always gives me an opportunity to think about the people in my life that have really helped me.
Yeah.
So I think maybe it's two things.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one is never ask advice from someone you would never take, never take criticism from someone you would not ask advice from.
Love it.
So if you are, and especially with like the prevalence of social media and content creation and things like that, there's like a real vulnerability to putting yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that oftentimes the sort of B side of that, right, is that people like to comment or have everybody has an opinion. Everybody has something to say, you know? And so I would tell young women, never take criticism from someone you would not take advice from, because those people are not criticizing you for anything other than like their lens of insecurity.
Yep.
And so
their own problems.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so for all of that noise that's out there, just try to remember that like you are your own person, and the people in your life that love you and care about you and support you, those are the people whose opinions, if you care about anyone's at all, it's those people. It's not the noise of audiences, right? And I say this as someone who's consistently making stuff with the goal of audiences watching it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But then the other thing is just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that is going to sound so like obvious and broad, but I mean, even in this current project that I'm working on, I'll be honest, there was like meta moments, because in the script I'm talking about how people don't want to hear about this miscarriage, right? And then I had that feedback in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this real intense moment during the scripting process where for like 3 days, I'm not gonna lie, I was like crying every day, and I was calling my producers every day, and I was sort of just, I was halted, you know, I couldn't move forward because I had gotten really the worst thing that I was worried about happened, right? Which is that somebody read my script and told me I shouldn't make it, you know? And I took the time to feel that, you know?
Okay.
So it wasn't like I just was like, well, forget that, blazing a trail, let's keep going. No, criticism can hurt. That could be so disorienting. But what it can also make you do is realize that you have to anchor yourself in your voice,
yes,
in your power, in your perspective, in your story, and however you want to tell it, and keep going. Mm-hmm. You got to just keep going, because there are a million reasons why to not do a thing. Mm-hmm. But if you feel in your heart that something is important and you feel passionate about something, keep going. Mm-hmm. Because all of the people that we look to and all of the powerful women in the world, like, I mean, yes, Greta Thunberg got started very early. You know, she's been fighting that good fight environmentally since she was like 10.
Yes.
But also, Oprah didn't really get her break until her mid-30s.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Harrison Ford, which I know that's not Women's History Month, but Harrison Ford was like a set carpenter until the 40s before he literally was like in his 40s when he got Star Wars. So it's like, you know, you think of all of the amazing women that we look to for inspiration, and very few of them were their peak best selves or their most influential at a super young age. And even if they were, they've continued and they've kept going, and they've grown in themselves and then in the way that they can help people, you know? And so it's like, just don't quit on yourself.
Yes.
Don't quit on yourself, because you deserve to keep going. And then maybe what you'll find is that there are these people in your life that will cheer you on, just like at the end of a finish line, you know?
Yes.
They're there telling you, keep going, it's worth it, your voice matters. And
don't listen to the noise.
Don't listen to the noise, you know? And that, I think, I've always gotten that advice, and I will always give that advice, because I think it's sound. It doesn't matter what your profession is. Maybe you're a filmmaker, maybe you're a podcaster, maybe you're a stand-up, right? But maybe you're an accountant, and maybe you want to be like the best accountant there's ever been. You know what I mean? Like, then do it.
Whatever your reason is.
Whatever your reason is, it's valid, and your life matters, you know? And really, we're all here for such a short time, right? And not to be like morbid about it, but like, we're all dying.
Yeah.
So like, keep going.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the worst case scenario is that like, maybe you try something and you fail. But if you never try, you're already not going to have the thing you want anyway.
Right. Exactly.
So
you're going to have no chance.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I love that. I think that's such solid. If I could go back and tell myself anything at these like pivotal moments in my growing up years that I can remember, one of them is like, don't lose yourself. Don't worry about what people are saying, because I did.
Yeah.
And, you know, bringing it back to my friend Jess that I was telling you about, she stayed true to herself, and I closed up and tried to fit in. And so our paths ended up so different. And, you know, I'm grateful for everything that I've gone through, but I just wish that I was able to not lose so much of like my genuine silliness and like just what was in, you know.
Yeah.
Because now, like you said, I have these conversations with people and they're like, oh, look at you, you closet nerd. And like you discover these things that you don't think of initially when you see me, right? Because it's still there.
Yeah.
I just kind of keep it in a little box, like tucked in the closet, and bring it out later, you know.
Well, the world's gonna know now, girl. We're putting this video out, the Duniverse, and they're just gonna see. People are gonna want to go to movies with you just to see your reactions. Like, I could definitely see that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, I see it in the reflection of the photo. I love it so much. I'm so excited.
Oh my God, they look so good.
You like them? Are they too big?
No, these are the like dream brows that I always wished that I had.
Really?
Because like, first of all, I mean, I just think the art you created is incredible. But no, this is the dream, because I literally, girl, you see those little baby peach fuzzes. How did you turn that?
I know.
You turned a peach fuzz into a Tom Selleck. They're like, but like in the best way.
They're like doubled in size almost.
Literally.
Yeah. And here's the thing. So if, you know, they do move, right? Yeah. It's hair. So if you ever just want to tone them down a little bit,
you can just sort of, I love that.
Kind of brush them down just like that through the whole body. Actually, you might want to do that sideways, right?
Yep.
And then so the bottom comes up a little bit, the top comes down a little bit, and they'll shrink. And you have staining on your skin right now from the tint as well. So just keep that in mind.
Cool.
And then I do have a little bit of brow gel in here right now. That's why they're not moving very much. But yeah, so you can definitely tone them down. I do just want to touch up a couple areas with a little bit of pencil.
Absolutely.
And I'm actually going to good. Okay, there we go.
I feel like a new woman.
Yes. All right, so go ahead and grab the mirror, because I'm just going to like give you a little bit of guidance here. So when you use your brow gel, okay, and I'm just using the stick end so I don't contaminate this bottle, right? You're going to use the wand. So I'm just gonna, let me just dab some of this product in here
Oh,
to work with. And then, so when you come in with your brow gel, same thing. Obviously, we don't want all of your brows to be like up, right? So they are gonna be at a slant, like a diagonal.
That makes
a little bit. So we're gonna do this, and we're pointing like kind of towards this corner of your hairline, right?
Cool.
And then once we get to your arch, we're gonna start to rainbow like down to your temple.
Oh, cool.
So see how all these hairs are kind of pointing up, but we're gonna, just like that.
I love that.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Nice and natural.
And that brow gel is not heavy at all.
No.
Or sticky or anything.
Nope. This is a very light hold, which is all you're gonna need.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We have like we do sell obviously like the heavy duty ones, but you do not need that.
Oh, that looks incredible. And I think that that's maybe the thing that I was even averse to for brow gel, is thinking it was going to be sticky, but it's not.
Nope.
It feels literally so light.
Yep, this is the good stuff.
That's Siren and Proper brow gel, guys. Yeah.
We're not going to steer you wrong.
I love that.
Look okay?
Yeah. I was like, I'll move the mirror out of the way.
Yeah, just a little bit right here. There we go. We don't want any S's. Avoid the S's. Yeah. Cool. And how does your skin feel? It looks good.
Feels great.
Cool. Yeah. So if you do touch up with a pencil at all, do you use a pencil at home?
I use a little bit of like brow wax. Actually.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Is it tinted?
Yes.
Yep, perfect.
Yep.
And a little brush.
Yep.
Yep. So you're just going to find the areas that are weak, and you're just going to follow your hair growth pattern and just kind of dot it in. Yep. And then tap, tap to soften it. Make sure it's not too harsh, because we want to keep them nice and natural.
Love that.
Yep. Perfect.
It feels like pretty. I don't know. I think sometimes as moms we like forget about self-care a lot.
Yeah.
And
because life's not just about you anymore.
Yeah. Well, and just also truly, it's like you're working, you're stay-at-home moms. Like the focus is constantly everyone else, and so it's like you forget sometimes that just like a little self-care can just really change the game for you.
Just lift you back up again, give you that strength.
Yes. But that's what we were talking about earlier. It's like your whole team here is just hype women, you know, just making everyone feel like their most confident and beautiful selves, you know?
Yes. That is the goal.
It's not because of the services, but it's like
the connection and the service.
Well, that's what it is, right? And it's like the enhancement of what's already there, you know?
Exactly.
This was so great. Thank you. This is so wonderful.
I'm
so glad we did this.
Me too. And I'm glad that you're happy with your brows. They look great.
Now we just have to go test them out on the young men of Grand Rapids and West Michigan and beyond.
Yes.
I'm sure they will love them.
No wine bars. Let's try like the younger ones first, see how they react.
They'll be like, I'm sorry, she's 27? What, with those brows? Those are young brows.
Let me holler at you, Mom.
Exactly.
All right, let's walk up front. I'll show you a couple products.
Perfect.
I did grab you a brow gel.
Awesome.
Siren and Proper.
I
It's
love
clear.
And it's that light hold one, right?
It is the light hold. It's a medium hold one. It's not going to get flaky on you.
I love that.
And then our friends at Revita Lash sent us a lot of goodies to share with all of our wonderful clients who are doing this, because they really like the message.
Yeah.
So for you, I have a tinted high def brow gel.
Ooh.
Soft brown. Same thing. It's a medium hold. You're just going to brush it through. It's like a brow mascara. It builds up, packed with keratin, lots of good stuff that's going to like support the growth of your brows.
I love that it's tinted.
Yes. And then we actually have a brow serum. So it has a lip gloss wand applicator.
Okay.
You're going to do it once daily.
Okay.
Right before you go to bed or in the morning, whichever, before you put on your makeup. It's just a serum. It absorbs like within a few minutes. Good to go. And then the same thing, lash growth serum, if you want to use it. So
yay!
And their stuff is wonderful. It's all like physician developed. So you know it's like the real deal. It's not like just some cosmetic company white labeling a growth serum.
Well, and especially with stuff so close to your eyes and things like that, it's like, you
want to make sure it's tested and
I love that.
Yes. So let me get this all packaged up for you. Yes. All right. So
look out, world. Hot Mom Summer 2024.
She's coming at you.
She's coming
we got her ready for you. You better watch out.
Oh, this is wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's so cool to see. Just like
I mean, again, I know
Yeah.
that we're filming and stuff, but like it's so legit. Like it's
But the same to you, like
thanks.
constantly moving forward and working on things and just growth.
I'm excited. I feel proud. I know that, you know, at the end of the day, like I can take care of my kids and I can give them the stuff that I didn't have. And that's like, I think all you can want as a human is to try to just be better every day. I don't know. That's what I'm aiming for. Is better today than I was yesterday.
Exactly. Yeah. And we got to make sure we're happy and healthy so we can bring up happy, healthy babies and good little people in the
Good
world.
little people. Yeah. This was wonderful. Enjoy. All right.